Okay, this is my 6th video on the question pool from the hamstudy.com website. I just want to point out a couple things before I get started. This sub-element is actually going to be my last video for this echo element, which is the commission's rules. There was 6 sections in this sub-element echo 1. Altogether, there will have been 68 questions. This video will conclude the sub-element echo 1 question pool, and the other sub-elements, as you can see to the left, also have sections and questions per those sections. So as we dive further into this, we'll just note how many questions are in each individual section, and how many sections are within each sub-element. So this video will cover sub-element echo 1 commission rules, section echo 1 Foxtrot. Section echo 1 Foxtrot covers miscellaneous rules, external RF power amplifiers, prohibited communications, spread spectrum, auxiliary stations, Canadian amateurs operating in the U.S., and special temporary authority. First question, Echo 1 Foxtrot 01. On what frequencies are spread spectrum transmissions permitted? And the answer is only on amateur frequencies above 220. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 02. What privileges are authorized in the U.S. to persons holding an amateur service license granted by the government of Canada? And the answer is the operating terms and conditions of the Canadian Amateur Service License, not to exceed U.S. Amateur Extra Class License privileges. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 03. Under what circumstances may a dealer sell an external RF power amplifier capable of operation below 144 megahertz if it has not been granted by FCC certification? And the answer is the amplifier is constructed or modified by an amateur radio operator for use at an amateur station. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 04. Which of the following geographic descriptions approximately describes line alpha? The answer is a line roughly parallel to and south of the border between the U.S. and Canada. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 05. Amateur stations may not transmit in which of the following frequency segments if they are located in the contiguous 48 states and north of line alpha? And the answer is 420 megahertz to 430 megahertz. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 06. Under what circumstances might the FCC issue a special temporary authority STA to an amateur station? And the answer is to provide the experimental amateur communications. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 07. When may an amateur station send a message to a business? The answer is when neither the amateur nor their employer has a pecuniary interest in the communications. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 08. Which of the following types of amateur station communications are prohibited? The answer is communications transmitted for hire or material compensation, except as otherwise provided in the rules. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 09. Which of the following cannot be transmitted over an amateur radio mesh network? The answer is messages encoded to obscure their meaning. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 10. Who may be the control operator of an auxiliary station? The answer is only technician, general, advanced, or amateur extra class operators. Question Echo 1 Foxtrot 11. Which of the following best describes one of the standards that must be met by an external RF power amplifier if it is to qualify for a grant of FCC certification? And the answer is it must satisfy the FCC's spurious emission standards when operated at the lesser of 1500 watts or its full output power. And this concludes the questions for Subelement Echo 1, Section F